Right, behind all this is the next item to go. Now this has been on before, but obviously I've put it on as part of the part. This isn't. Now this baby, oh dear. Wow, let's have a look. This is a BMC 1.8 diesel. Now she's a beaut. She just needs a good old jet wash down. I am considering doing a little bit of a refurb on it, but do you know what? I'm sitting here and I'm looking at it thinking, you know what, that doesn't need too much. Might stick another alternator on it, but I'll check it first. It's been on before. This engine came out of an old boat, and about 5 years ago, this was maybe a bit longer, this engine was absolutely fully rebuilt, fully refurbished. The whole lot was stripped down, rebuilt, and it got put into the boat, and it was ran, I don't know, probably less than an hour. And then the boat was taken out of the water to have some other works done. It was a wooden boat, and the guy, I do believe there was some sort of health issue or something, and he never turned back up again, and the boat was sold, and I took the engine. Now it's sitting here, and she's a beaut. I mean, she's an absolute beaut. Just the gearbox alone is worth a small fortune on these. This is ready to go straight into a boat. This will start. I mean, look at it, it's a cracking piece of kit, absolutely cracking. Needs to come out. We're going to jet wash it down, give it a good clean up. We'll check and test everything. I will probably stick another diesel filter on there and get the old diesel out and stuff like that. The oil is all good, so once it's out and about, we'll have a really, really good look at what we've got. But then what also happens now is, because the Marksman is on its way, finances are obviously going to go up a little bit. More stuff to turn up. I mean, I've got stuff coming. I've already got stuff. I've got inverters, I've got MPTs, I've got all that sort of stuff to go for the Pirate. But the next one is preparing the Pirate as well. Pressure's on now. We need to basically look at getting the Pirate as a day room. So not only I've got to put a white stripe on, I've got to get it working. So I've got to get some water systems. I've got to get stuff going somehow. Yes. Okay, here she is. She's out. Nice piece of kit. Going to try and find the details. The gearbox. I mean, that on its own is worth a fair bit. The pipes, some of these are go over. Bits like that are take off, so no need for it. Diesel pump starter, we give that a run as well. But the first thing we need to do is get it jet washed down. I've given it a bit of clean. I might look at these here. I just want to make sure whoever purchases the engine, it goes straight in and runs. So it'll take too much. Right, what I've done, it's obviously been jet washed down. I've taken out anything we don't need off this engine, and I put a piece of pipe in here. This red piece of pipe basically would go onto the heat for the hot water. It would go onto the califier, and I'll put a picture up of the califier so you got an idea what it is. So one pipe would go into one part of the califier, and this pipe would go into the other. But at the moment it would just literally circulate around on its own, and what this does is it takes water from the engine, which is the water for the basically internal cooling, sends it around the califier and gives you some hot water. So we've got that in, and then what I've done, I don't know what this little gadget was they had, but basically I've just blocked that off, and this is water which comes from the river, which will come in here, which we'll put a hose through. That then goes through the gearbox. This is the gearbox one, yeah. This is the pipe so they can, no, this one here is actually the oil. That's for the engine oil. I'm looking for the one for the, let's have a look around. Here's the gearbox one. So it goes through the gearbox one first, then it goes through to the engine oil, and then it goes through here, which is the pump. This is what draws it up. That then sends it up through here into the heat exchanger, which is basically inside here is an exchange unit. It's basically a lot of copper tubes, and the river flows through, river water flows through that, or seawater, and then that it comes through here, down here. This is the exhaust. It joins the exhaust and all pumps out together at the same time. I think that's got it. The alternator coming down, it connects onto the solenoid. It connects onto the solenoid here, and then this comes down onto the battery. Now I've left the negative terminal off the battery at the moment, so I have set up a little make-do lamp which will plug into, it's a Lucas, just here on this lower pin. This is the excitation switch. This is what tells the alternator to start charging the battery. The way this is wired, basically you can do it several ways. For some reason they've taken both the wires down to the solenoid, where some people can actually take another wire up to your ignition circuit. So it works the same way. So here we have the pump. There's your throttle. Down here we have the stop, which is when you pull the lever, that will stop the engine. Diesel pump, which I've bled through up to here. I've actually bled up to these points, so we shouldn't have too much trouble starting this. Diesel filter. This is the diesel return pipe. This is the one which sends the diesel back to the tank, which is this one. And this one, which I've bled through, comes through to the mechanical pump, which is here. And that there sends the diesel round up through this pipe into the filter, and that comes along down into the pump itself. And obviously there's your return coming through. Anything what's not used comes up here, back in this pipe and back round. Up here is a temperature stat. Obviously the oil filter, diesel filter, and we actually have a filter as well for the gearbox, which is a mechanical gearbox. I did think it was hydraulic, but it's not, it's a mechanical one. Air intake, and then we have anything there like, which is basically oil, any excess pressure comes back through, down through into the inlet manifold for the air. Okay, I think we're ready to give that a go. Is there anything else we need to talk about? I don't think so. Right, the first thing we do is my little lamp. Now this little lamp plugs in to that small pin at the bottom of the Lucas alternator. And basically when I put this negative on the battery, that lights up. That's a little bit like having your red light on for your dashboard, but this is a filament lamp. It needs to be a filament on these. And then I have another wire here which is fused. These will go onto my preheaters, which I'm just going to preheat the engine now. This would be where you press the button or it's on the key. I'm just going to do it by wire, so I'll give that probably, let's give it 10 seconds or so, 15 seconds. That will heat that up. put the throttle into forward, and then my starter is going to be on my solenoid just here. I'll tell you what I need to do before I do anything. I haven't done it. I need to put the water on. This is where it gets messy. This is where your river intake would be. And water's going to go everywhere. Right, I need to give that a little more of a preheat again. Just give it 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Okay, throttle on. Exhaust and the water coming through the heat exchanger coming out together. Gearbox. No smoke. We'll let that run. There's oil in there pumping up. Okay, so a few little bits. I'm gonna let the engine now sit, and hopefully we get some temperature up. I want to check what this is doing. This is the thermostat, and it sits in here. So I want this to heat up, and I want to see this water drop down a little bit. Then I know the thermostat's opening. If not, it means this isn't opening properly, and I'm going to put a new one in. So, do that in the morning. These are preheaters. I know they're working because I can hear them working, which are these here. And basically, what these do is my little wiring trick. I'm just using this via a fuse I'm just going onto the preheater circuit. Heats it up before it starts. Let's start this up with no preheat. We know this is charging. This light should go out. Put the water back on. This is just replicating the river water. Alternator lights on. The light is out, so we know we're charging the battery, but we haven't taken the measurement. Get up tomorrow. If I put this gauge onto here, so maybe you can see that, I'm reading 40 degrees. $31. I'm coming round. $79.80. That's about right. But I have one concern. If I look inside the radiator cap, it might be because the seal isn't very good, so I might look for another cap in the morning. But here, this water, I think, should have disappeared. So what I'm thinking is, just back on, I'm thinking I'm not getting enough water through here, the thermostat itself. So in the morning, I'll replace it. So I'll see you in the morning. And we'll try it again. Well, it's the morning. Welcome back. So I've got myself a thermostat, gasket, a little bit of oil or a bit of grease to go on it. So basically, this gasket, this thermostat is a 74 degrees C. You get them 74, 85, whatever. I normally use the 74s because boats tend to be sitting idle for a long time and it's a cooler temperature. The fact that the block was getting to about 85, 90 is indicating to me that this is not working. So we're going to change that and then we're going to give the engine a run again, but we'll have one more little go over it because really, once this is done, as long as it works, this is a good engine. This is good to go. And I wouldn't want to give someone an engine which isn't going to be suitable for them. So I'm going to take this off. It sits in here in the little thermostat housing. I'll get this off and bring you back. Right, I've loosened off I've actually had I took the pipe off, get my finger in this gloves. Little adjoining pipe. There's a lot of gunky shit in there, rubbish from the water sat in there for a few years, so we're going to get that out. But we'll have a look at the thermostat. This is the housing. So the new thermostat basically sits in like this. Basically, that's it. Now the old thermostat is this one here. This is definitely, I'm not 100% sure this is actually failed because I found a load of rubbish in here, but I've cleared it out a little bit. But basically what this one does, this is an 80, so it works at 80 degrees, which should have worked yesterday and it didn't. So this is designed to push water around your water heater first, which is okay because you get hot water quickly. So there's an area in here where the water will go towards this section here first. It literally takes this as priority. I'm actually going to take this area here. I don't think I'll take it off. I don't think it's too bad. But what I am going to do is I'm going to flush this with a hose and we'll see if get any rubbish out we can. Just see what comes out. Thinking about dropping another one off here somewhere, just to ensure. But all I can feel cold water coming through this red pipe, so that's good. That is good. I think what I'll do with the hose is I'll take this pipe off and flush this way through into his to push this stuff out. I think that might be the way to do it. So now flushing through this way. Yeah. Okay, let's have a look. I just live in water and dust. And here we go, you can see the colour of that coming through. Now we're flushing through the whole system. So we're looking good. Okay. We'll just let that pump through. We know we've got a lot of clear ways. I'm thinking about checking that stat with some boiling water. So I think it might be a good stat. I've not decided to stop to have a cup of tea or nothing. But to check this, I need to get the water to 80 degrees. So I'm just going to use a kettle. And I'm just going to measure the temperature as it heats up. Switch it on. At the moment, that's 51 degrees. I'm going to get it to 80 degrees. I'm going to pour it in this jar. I'm going to drop this into the jar. And I want to see this move. If it moves, it works. And it means what was stopping this was just basically being empty for years because the water was drained out and it's crudded up. So I think it was actually blocked, but I've now cleaned this and I can't think why it wouldn't work again because it actually looks quite new. So this was probably put in when the refurb was done. Right, 80 degrees, 56. It's a 750 watt kettle, so it could take forever. I will say something, if you're going to use glass, use Pyrex or a jam jar. This is an old jam jar because they can take temperatures. If you stick it into normal glass, bang, it'll just go. So jam jars or Pyrex or plastic. Just put it in plastic where you can see it. It's not big. This is all I can find. 72. So we're coming up. This one would operate around that time. This is a 74. But like I said, I'd rather use this one to give hot water tank the first shot of water going around the engine. Obviously the engine does need water to cool down. This will still do it. Right, that'll do. We're going in at 90 now. Whoa, straight away. You see that? That's working. So you can now see that's fully expanded now. So we know it's working. So if we put some cool water in there now, so cool water, there you go. You can actually hear it. That's working fine. So it's now retracting back to the original position. So we know it's working. That can go back. Okay, a little bit of grease on the gasket. People say you shouldn't use this stuff, copper, but I've got all types of grease. I always find that this stuff is really good. And you do get copper safe stuff now. I don't know, just whack it on. I mean, it's a diesel engine, and people say, oh, you should use this and that and the other, and it's a diesel engine. It's going to pollute. I mean, it's the nature of the engine. Don't matter what you use. I'd rather have a really good seal and something that will come off in the future. If you were breaking down in the river somewhere, I'd put that down some more as a priority than being eco-friendly and what grease you use to seal up a gasket. Okay, that's on. So we whack that on there. That's all nice and clean at the bottom now. Just put a bit through there as well, what's on my fingers. We've got to put this back on again, just to help it out. I don't use this too much on pipes, because it does exactly the opposite. Sometimes it can make your pipe too slippery, but here we got a knuckle end, so we can get away with it. Okay, I'm going to bolt this back in. About right. You notice we've got a little diesel leak. We get that. Perfect. Been 80, 85, it's bang on. Well, what we do is we're going to let that run for about another 10 minutes. And we just check it again. I think that's about it. I think that's ready to go. White line on. I just got to get the time. The problem is here today it's going to be so hot, but we are going to have a go. That'll be obviously on the pirate video number 41. We got to do it. Well, that is basically some of the things I do to make a bit of money really towards this project. Now, project wise, money wise, financial wise, there's already quite a lot been spent. There's already a lot of stuff already being purchased, and yeah, like the engine stuff and like that's already sort of like been accounted for, but there's an awful lot more to go into this. So you've seen a little bit of what I do to make a bit more out of, you know, a bit more cash here and there, but it does now bring the emphasis onto this more. The temperatures have been horrendous. We can't do anything. We can't seal. We can't. Oh, you can't paint. The big thing about the paint is when I order the paint, I actually tell them I'm applying the paint between 15 and 25 degrees. Once you go above 30 degrees, which would be in the UK at the moment, you can't get it on the boat. You just can't get it on. It becomes tacky almost immediately. And it's the same with the glues and the bonding and the window sills. There's not much you can do. So it's coming down though, but it's giving me a chance to do a few other bits for you. And I intend to do a few more bits as we go along and have a look at some other stuff. But I need one. I want every week to do at least an update on where we are with this. So hopefully we'll be hitting this again. Lovely weather, but not for me, not for this. Take care, thank you, and I'll see you soon.